Have you ever thought that just one sentence, a few short words said at the right moment, can immediately make an impression on a woman? Not because of your looks, not because of your job, but because your words touch her emotions in a way that she can't ignore. What could you say that would make her pay attention, smile, and look at you in a different way, without trying to impress her or convince her of anything? These words are not tricks or techniques. They are tools. These tools are built from psychology, emotions, and the basic motivations of humans. And when said in the right way, they trigger something profound inside her: curiosity, challenge, and attraction. They completely change the scenario. Because when you understand how women connect emotionally and know how to speak in a way that touches that core emotion, you no longer have to chase anyone. Each sentence I'm about to share is designed to make her think about you long after the conversation ends. If you use them the right way, women will feel like they've discovered something rare in you, and they won't want to let it go. Before we dive into these lines, do something powerful. Hit the subscribe button now, because that way you'll not only upgrade your own life, but also help bring this information to millions of men who need to hear it. Men who are tired of being overlooked, tired of always being in the friend zone, and tired of never standing out. When you support, we grow together. And when we grow, we change lives. Yours, mine, and his. Now, let's get into the lines that will make her heart automatically lean towards you, even when she doesn't understand why. The first one. You have a unique way. I like that. Most men think they need to compliment a woman's beauty to grab her attention. They often say things like, "You look beautiful," or "You look great tonight," hoping it will make an impression. However, women hear these words every day. It's not that they don't like compliments, but these compliments are often empty, shallow, and too familiar. They don't touch anything real. They don't create an emotional connection. But when you say, "You have a unique way, I like that," everything suddenly slows down. This phrase becomes a magnet because it goes straight to the part of her that craves personal recognition, not just attention. This recognition is subtle, mysterious, and unexpected, and it forces her mind to do something powerful. She will start to ask, "What does he see in me, feel from me, notice in me?" It opens a loop in her mind that's not easily closed. She'll begin to reflect on her actions and presence, wondering, what is it about me that makes him think I'm special? Is it the way I tell this story? My smile, my confidence, or my shyness? And when she does this, she begins to connect emotionally with your words. That's the power of a compliment that leaves room for curiosity. You're not saying everything. You're just revealing enough to spark a fire. It's this mystery that creates tension. And when tension is created the right way, it becomes a powerful attraction. Now, let's analyze further. When you say this, what do you really mean? How do you avoid sounding cheesy? You don't say this randomly. You say it during a genuine connection, when she's sharing something meaningful. Maybe she's telling a childhood memory, or she's passionate about a favorite project, or even making a quirky yet clever joke that most people would overlook. That's when you pause. Let that moment settle. Look her in the eyes, not in a scary way, but with calm, steady energy. And say it slowly, as if you've just discovered something precious. You have a unique way. I like that. The most important thing is your tone. Say it as if you've just realized a precious truth about her. Make it seem like an awareness you just discovered in that moment. If you say it too quickly or explain too much, it loses its power. The power of this phrase lies in its simplicity. You're not trying to impress her. You're simply observing her, And that's something very rare. Because here's something no one tells you. Women often feel invisible on an emotional level. Sure, they may be noticed for their appearance, but how often does someone recognize the way they think, the way they laugh, or the radiance they have when talking about something they love? This phrase touches deeply on that. It goes beyond the surface. It says, I see something in you that most people overlook. I'm looking closely. You truly stand out. And the best part is, not only will it make her feel appreciated, but this phrase will also make her want to show you more of herself. She will gradually lean towards you emotionally. She'll start sharing more stories. She'll open up more, because now she feels like she's with someone who truly sees her essence, not just her appearance. Slowly, she'll associate you with a deep sense of being truly seen, and that emotional impression is stronger than any pickup line, any flowery compliment, or any boastful remark. So when using this phrase, be subtle. Use it when the moment is genuine. Say it with the calm, steady energy of a man who doesn't just look but truly sees. She will never forget that moment, and she will never forget you. The second phrase, I like women who know what they want. This is one of the most underrated things a man can say. On the surface, it seems like a compliment, but in reality, it carries far greater power. It's a gentle challenge, a standard, a filter. Most men, especially when they feel attracted to a woman, tend to seek her approval. They say things they think she wants to hear. They agree too quickly, laugh too much, try to impress her, hoping that if they're sweet, smart, or funny enough, she'll choose them. But this, whether they realize it or not, shifts the energy between them. Now, she becomes the winner, and he is the one chasing. He's like an auditioning actor, trying to prove himself. And whether women are consciously aware of it or not, this energy becomes predictable and eventually boring. But when you look her straight in the eyes, calm, confident, and composed, and say, I like women who know what they want, everything suddenly changes. You are no longer seeking her approval. You are no longer trying to win her heart. You are setting a preference, a standard. And this subtly shifts the conversation from the question, am I good enough, to the question, is she the one I'm looking for? It's just a small shift, but it has a huge impact because now she is the one who has to ask herself, am I confident? Do I seem like I know what I want? Do I meet his standards? This inner question is what creates deep attraction. Not only that, but when you say this, you're delivering a message that she rarely hears. You are not someone who can be easily won over. This is the psychology behind why this phrase leaves a strong impression. Women greatly admire men who have clarity in their thinking, in their life purpose, and in their values. When you say, I like women who know what they want, you are showing your attraction to clarity in others, which reflects the clarity you have in yourself, something that makes you strong, steady, reliable, rare, and incredibly attractive. Note on when to use this phrase. This phrase works best when she demonstrates a level of decisiveness or leadership. Maybe it's when she confidently orders food at a restaurant, or when she boldly shares her opinion, or tells you what she's looking for in life. That's when you should say it. Look her in the eyes, nod gently, and say with deep admiration, I like women who know what they want. Then pause. Let this phrase settle. Don't follow up with any softening words or apologies. You're not saying this to seek her approval. You are simply expressing what you appreciate. When you hold this phrase with calm, steady energy, it will create a powerful emotional pull. It will draw her towards you. The effect when she asks you about the type of woman you like. This phrase is particularly effective when she asks you about the type of woman you like. Most men would fumble and answer things like, "I don't have a specific type," or "someone cute." This is vague and easily forgettable. Instead, if you respond calmly, "I like women who know what they want," you accomplish two things at once. You convey power and you stimulate a challenge. Now, she will start measuring herself against your standards. The most important thing, once you've said that, act according to it. If she lacks decisiveness, confidence, or stability, don't chase her. Because if you chase someone who doesn't meet the standard you've just set, your words will lose their value. But if you remain steady, calm, and consistent, she will feel the difference. She will see that you not only say it, but you live according to that standard. And that's when the magic happens. She will start investing more in the conversation. She will lean towards you, open up more. She will want to be seen as the kind of woman who knows what she wants. And this isn't manipulation, it's attraction. It's a healthy dynamic where both of you elevate each other's energy without playing games. So remember one thing, don't speak to impress, speak to show your value. This simple phrase, "I like women who know what they want," is the key. The next shift is that you're no longer the one chasing her, but she will begin to wonder how to keep your attention. The third phrase, "That's my favorite thing about you." This phrase may seem simple, but if used correctly, it holds incredible power. It's a phrase that can transform you from just offering a casual compliment to a man who truly sees her. For many women, this experience is rare in an emotional sense and unforgettable. Most compliments women receive are based on obvious things: their appearance, style, maybe their smile. And yes, those compliments might make them happy for a moment, but they don't last long. They don't create emotional depth or leave a lasting impression. Why is that? Because every man notices the outward things. Saying "you're beautiful" doesn't require finesse, understanding, or emotional connection. But saying "I love your passion" when you talk about your goals, now that's something that truly makes an impact. That's the difference between becoming someone who can be forgotten and someone who is unforgettable. This phrase is powerful because it's not just a simple compliment. It's like a mirror reflecting something real about her, something others might not notice. When you say this, you're not trying to flatter her. You're acknowledging something specific, making her feel like you truly understand her. And when a woman feels understood by a man, she'll start to open up in ways she can't with anyone else. Let's dive a little deeper. Let's say she's talking about her work, not just her title, but why she does it. Maybe when she talks about helping others, her face lights up. Or there might be a gentle intensity in her voice when she talks about her ambitions. Maybe she shares a vulnerable moment, and you see the strength in it. That's your moment. You're not looking at her with excitement, but with calm appreciation. And you say, "That's my favorite thing about you. The way you care so deeply about everything, it's really rare." Then, stop. Don't rush to continue the conversation. Let the phrase sink in. The silence after you speak is important. It creates space for her to feel what you just said. What did you do in that moment? You confirmed something meaningful. You made her feel emotionally seen. You created a memory that only exists between you and her. That simple phrase is like a fingerprint etched deeply in her mind. She will never forget this. Not because it's overly flowery, but because it touched a deep part of her that most men can't reach. The power of this phrase is even stronger when you don't overuse it. You don't say this to every woman you meet. You don't say it too soon. You only say it when the moment is truly genuine, when she's revealing her true self, and you say it with a calm, steady tone. Because in reality, it's not just the words, that matter. What's more important is the presence behind those words. Let's assume she is helping someone quietly, without seeking attention, simply because that's in her nature. Or maybe she's showing determination without needing to boast. Perhaps she shares something moving, and you see the courage in her words. At that moment, you'll stop, lower your voice slightly and say, "That's the thing. That's my favorite thing about you." What happens next is not just an emotional connection, but a strong attraction. She will feel a pull towards you, not because you've given her attention, but because you've given her recognition. Something almost every woman craves, to be valued for her true nature, not just for her looks. If you want to know what makes the difference in a man, what makes a woman think about him for days after, it's this. He made her feel emotionally valuable. Most men never do that, but you will. The beauty of it is that when you say, "That's my favorite thing about you," you're not just giving a compliment. You're changing the way she sees herself in that moment. That's deep attraction. These are the moments that will echo in her mind for a long time. The fourth phrase. "I don't know if you can handle me." This phrase might seem bold, but not because it's loud, but because it hints at something hidden beneath. When you say, "I don't know if you can handle me," you're telling her, without saying it outright, that you're not a normal man looking for quick approval. You're a man of complexity. You have depth, energy, standards, and maybe a bit of chaos. And that's not for everyone. This phrase completely breaks old patterns. It creates a gentle resistance, but it's playful and clever. It implies that you're a challenge, and that's truly alluring, especially when you express it with confidence and control. Why is that? Because challenges spark something in people. They create effort, curiosity, and emotional investment. And that's exactly what you want. Imagine this for a moment. Let's say she's teasing you. Maybe she says she's hard to impress. Or perhaps she confidently drops a line about how she can handle anything, or that she's not afraid of anything. And that's when you lean in, slightly, give a knowing smile and gently say, "I don't know if you can handle me." Then silence. Let that phrase linger in the air for a moment. What you just did was completely change the dynamics of the conversation. She thought she was being strong, challenging you, but you've reversed the situation with just one sentence. Now, she's starting to wonder if there's something about you that she can't handle. Is it your ambition, your depth, your lifestyle, your emotional intelligence, or your confidence? She doesn't know, but now she wants to find out. That's the power of this phrase. Not because it says something, but because it suggests something. It opens up a mysterious space, making her think, get curious, and even challenge you a little, just to see if you're serious. That's powerful. It means she's drawn in, curious, and her emotions have been activated. But this is the most important part. You have to prove what you say. You can't say, "I don't know if you can handle me," and then act like every other man. Don't rush to explain too much. Don't chase her or seek her approval. Your actions must align with the message you've just conveyed. This means you must remain calm, steady, and unaffected by her reactions. You must know your own worth and not need her to prove anything to make you feel valuable. What you're truly conveying is this: I'm not for everyone, and that's okay. I'm not here to be easily taken. I'm here to be myself. If you want shallow things, you can seek them more easily. But if you want depth, challenge, and intensity, then you must be ready. That's what's behind this phrase. It's not arrogance, it's a choice. It's confidence in your own complexity. And that's what becomes the powerful attraction. So what happens next? If she's ready, if she's curious enough to lean in, and want to understand what you really mean, then the dynamic of the conversation has completely changed. Now she's investing in this conversation. She's chasing a certain feeling. She's entering your world, not the other way around. So, don't rush to say this flippantly. Use it when the timing is right. Say it with calm certainty. Let your gaze carry the weight of that phrase. Then, let her sit in the silence for a moment and see what happens next. The fifth phrase, I'm not that easy. I'm not that easy isn't just a simple comeback. It's a subtle but powerful statement about your value. This phrase sends a message, not with arrogance, but with the certainty that you won't easily succumb to the first bit of attention. This message is rare. Why is that? Because most men don't realize that they give themselves away too easily. One compliment, one smile from a woman, and they rush to do everything to please her. They start chasing without any real reason to do so. And in that moment, the value between the two people is reversed. She becomes the one deciding whether you're worthy, and you become a man trying to be liked. But when you calmly say, I'm not that easy, everything starts to change. Suddenly you're no longer reacting. You're not swept up in her charm or her games. You stand firm, calm, and unmoved. Not because you don't like her, but because you know your worth. It's not given away just because someone shows interest. It's that calm resistance that becomes incredibly attractive. The beauty of this phrase is that it's gentle on the outside, but it carries an inner energy full of discipline and selectivity. You're saying, I don't easily give my attention, my time, or my approval. Everything must be deserved. And that very idea becomes addictive to the right kind of woman. So, how should you say it effectively? Use this phrase when she's teasing you, challenging you, or perhaps when she's giving you some light flirting and expects you to quickly fall for it. Instead of reacting with panic or awkward laughter, you hold your ground. Look her straight in the eyes. Let a playful smile appear on your lips, and with calm confidence, say, I'm not that easy. Then stop. Don't rush. Don't explain too much. Let that phrase linger in the air. The moment of silence is when the magic happens. She will wonder, did he just respond? Did he just resist me? And no matter how she acts, inside, she'll feel a light yet strong tension. And it's this tension that creates attraction. Let's break down what you're really doing in that moment. You're setting a boundary, but with allure. You're conveying that just because she's attractive or charming doesn't mean she automatically gets access to you. You're letting her know that your presence has a certain value, and that value is effort, honesty, respect, and genuine care. It's a rare approach, and only high-value men live by it. Why does this work so effectively, especially in romantic or alluring situations? Because when a woman realizes that a man has many options but chooses to be selective, it shows control, it shows power, it shows that he doesn't need emotional validation, he's not addicted to being recognized, and he doesn't crumble just because someone pays attention to him. Instead of chasing her approval, he's selecting her, just like she's selecting him. When you radiate that energy in a playful, light, and unguarded way, you become the man she's curious about. You become the man who is different, the one who has more to offer than what meets the eye. Let's face the truth for a moment. Mystery is alluring, but mystery without confidence feels like a lack of self-control. Mystery combined with steady confidence and composure is irresistible. One more thing. Never use this phrase as a script or a trick. Use it as an expression of your mindset. You really are not that easy. You really do have your own standards. If you live with that truth, if it's part of your nature, the phrase, I'm not that easy, will carry a powerful emotional weight when you say it. So the next time she leans in a little too confidently, The next time she assumes she can make you easy, just smile and gently say, "I'm not that easy." Watch what happens next, and then you'll see how she starts working to get your attention instead of the other way around. If you master these 6 phrases, not only will you know what to say, but also how to say it. Everything will change. Conversations will become easier. Women will lean towards you, listen to you in a different way. They'll perceive you in a different way. You will no longer chase to be remembered. Attraction is not about quantity, it's about energy. When you learn to speak from such a grounded position, your presence will radiate even before you open your mouth. If you find these insights helpful, support this mission. Subscribe to the channel because this isn't just about giving you true power, not empty words. With your support, we will reach thousands of other men who need to hear this. Men who are ready to stop passively seeking approval and start stepping up.